But let's listen in and let's listen to the conversation.
They are being used by the children of the lie to promote every perverted agenda that they come up with. They have done it with the blacks concerning abortion, so-called same-sex marriage, transgender, illegal aliens, and now and every wicked idea that they come up with, right? And now they're doing it with this attempt to destroy the Second Amendment. They're starting to use blacks for that as well, because they know if they can call it a civil rights issue and they can get black people to get involved, then they can get their wicked agendas across. They can get in order to manipulate them and convince them that destroying the Second Amendment, taking away the good folks' rights to bear arms, is a civil rights issue. And poor blacks, this is happening to them. And we have white privilege. And if this was happening to whites, it would be an outrage. But when it happened to black people, nothing's said about it. So we have to use our white privilege in order to help the blacks. Isn't this something? And watch how stupid, blind black people are going to fall for it once again. Not all, but most. So they're using this little peewee guy by the name of David Hogg, and out of Florida there. He's been trained like a monkey to speak and jump and act. And David is bringing in, and now they're told David to go and get the blacks and talk about white privilege. They'll fall for it. This is from Twitter. David Hogg alleged media bias against blacks. That's the key. Media bias against blacks. Blacks been saying that. David is using that. Against blacks and poor. He says that we have to use our white privilege to be a voice for blacks who have been killed. Why now, David? Why not beforehand? Why are you also all of a sudden using your white privilege when you want to get rid of the Second Amendment, being trained by the godless liberals who are paying and training you to be stupid? Here's the soundbite.
The spotlight is on us, and it's awful, and it's a horrible thought that we're an affluent community. That's why initially everybody followed this so closely, because this happens every day other places. There are communities that have to deal that are in the ugly club that we're in, but have to deal with it on a much
amazing.
I think one of the greatest obstacles that we face, though, with this movement is the fact that there is a lot of racial disparity in the way that this is covered. If this happened in a place of a lower socioeconomic status or a place where like a black community, no matter how well those people spoke, I don't think the media would cover it the same. And I think it's important that we point that out as Americans and realize that, because we have to use our white privilege now to make sure that all of the voices that have, all of the people that have died as a result of this and haven't been covered the same can now.
We have to use our white privilege. This would not have happened, the media bias against blacks and poor. Hear all the key words. This should be like an insult to black people. Because what they're saying is that you are incapable. Poor black people, you have no privilege because you are black. David Hall has parents. He's going to a good school. Black people have, if they have parents, and their parents would be able to put them in a quote-unquote good school. No such thing as white privilege. But now they're trying to haul in the blacks to destroy the Second Amendment. And if anyone should be standing for the Second Amendment, it should be black people. But the blacks are not going to do it because they call good evil and evil good. And they're going to believe that the whites care about them, those on the side of the lie. This guy said all the hypnotic words to draw the blacks in. All right, go ahead. Finish it. But I thought we could do this. So do we have to start it over or something? Yeah. All right, restart. Listen to the key
I think one of the greatest obstacles that we face, though, with this movement is the fact that there is a lot of racial disparity in the way that this is covered. If this happened in a place of a lower socioeconomic status or a place where, like a black community, no matter how well those people spoke, I don't think the media would cover it the same. And I think it's important that we point that out as Americans and realize that, because we have to use our white privilege now to make sure that all of the voices that have, all of the people that have died as a result of this and haven't been covered the same can now be heard. It's sad, but it's true.
Isn't that amazing? A little Pee Wee Herman looking guy talking about using his white privilege for black people. Blacks, if you're accepting this, you got some real serious issue. And the thing about it, there were blacks who met with him. I believe, isn't that true, Dave? There are blacks who met with David Hogg from Chicago. A religious school took the blacks down to meet with this little pipsqueak of a person who has been trained to do what he's doing. He's not doing this on his own. He's well trained by somebody. Ernie Duncan and Obama's educational secretary and a Catholic priest took the blacks to meet with this little thug. And the blacks are proud of it. Yeah, he loves us. He mentioned media bias against blacks. He cares about us. He cares a lot. This is from a person by the name of Cameron Kasky. And this person says, poor communities deal with this every day.
Regular basis have to feel a lot less safe than we do. I mean, despite what happened at school, I still walk to school some days and I don't have to worry about that kind of thing. And there are communities that do. So we feel responsible and we hope to properly represent our friends in other communities. But we're all bound together by the same awful thing. Mm-hmm. And we all have stared down the barrel of some of these guns. Mm-hmm. And we have to represent mm-hmm. those who unfortunately were ignored. And that's why we have people from other schools speaking at the march, mm-hmm. communities that deal mm-hmm. with this type of thing every day.
That boy said, I have stared down the barrel of an AR-15. And he repeated that over and over again. Brainwashing. This is so amazing to me. If you don't see that this is evil, good versus evil, then I can't help you.
Well, guys, that's it for that video clip, audio. It sounds like to me that, Jesse Lee Peterson gets very disturbed when it looks like the racists get together. He seemed to be one that likes to see racial tension and racial upheaval. And when it looks like the blacks are going to try to get with the whites to solve some of the gun violence in America, he gets very angry, and now he accuses some of the whites of misleading blacks and telling the blacks don't accept it in essence, and this white guy doesn't love you. And so, he's like a race hustler. So, well, feel free to leave your comments and opinions, and hopefully I'll talk with you guys later. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.